when I realized why my daughter stopped sleeping. It started 3 weeks ago, when our 7-year-old daughter Chloe suddenly couldn't sleep through the night. She'd wake up screaming about the woman in her room, but whenever we checked, nobody was there. We thought it was nightmares from starting 2nd grade, maybe anxiety about making new friends. The pediatrician said it was normal, just a phase, but Chloe kept getting worse. She'd beg not to go to bed, would cry until she threw up, started having accidents after being potty trained for years. We tried everything, nightlights, staying with her until she fell asleep, even letting her sleep in our room. Nothing worked. She'd still wake up terrified, saying the woman was watching her. My wife thought maybe we should check for carbon monoxide or get the house blessed. I decided to be practical and bought security cameras for her room, just to prove to Chloe nobody was there, to show her she was safe. I installed them yesterday while Chloe was at school. One facing her bed, one facing the door, one covering the window full coverage. If anyone came in that room, we'd see them. Last night, Chloe woke up at 2:47 a.m. screaming worse than ever. She ran to our room sobbing that the woman had touched her face. I held her while my wife went to check her room. Empty, of course. Window locked, closet empty, nothing under the bed. This morning, while Chloe was at school and my wife was at work, I pulled up the footage on my laptop. I started at 2:45 a.m., right before Chloe woke up. Her room was dark, but the night vision was clear. Chloe was sleeping peacefully. Then at 2:46, her bedroom door opened. My blood went cold. We'd locked it. We always lock it now because it makes Chloe feel safer. But the door opened silently, slowly. A figure walked in. It was a woman, just like Chloe had said. She moved weird, almost gliding. She went straight to Chloe's bed and stood there, looking down at her. For a full minute, she just stood there. Then she reached out and touched Chloe's face, running her fingers along her cheek. Chloe stirred and the woman pulled back, walking quickly out of the room. The door closed behind her. Chloe woke up screaming exactly 10 seconds later. I couldn't breathe. Someone had been in our house, in our daughter's room, multiple times. I called 911 immediately, then my wife, then the school to make sure Chloe was safe. The police came within minutes. I showed them the footage. One officer went pale. Can you zoom in on her face? I did. The woman looked familiar but strange, like someone I knew but couldn't place. Her features were blurred by the night vision, but something about her face structure, her hair, seemed wrong, yet familiar. The officer asked for footage from the other cameras. The one facing the door showed the woman more clearly as she entered. She was wearing what looked like a nightgown. Her feet were bare. She moved mechanically, almost like she was sleepwalking. But it was the camera facing the window that revealed the truth. At 2:40 a.m., before the woman entered, there was movement outside the window. A figure approaching from the side yard. The motion light triggered, illuminating them for just a second. It was my wife, but my wife was asleep next to me. I knew because I'd gotten up to use the bathroom at 2:35, and she was there, snoring lightly. The officer asked me to wake my wife from our bedroom to compare. When I showed her the footage, she gasped. The woman in Chloe's room looked exactly like her, same hair, same build, same face, but it wasn't her. The woman in the footage had a small scar on her left cheek that my wife doesn't have, and her eyes were different, empty, dead. We were still trying to understand when my wife's phone rang. Her estranged twin sister was calling the twin she hadn't spoken to in 5 years, the twin who'd been institutionalized after a psychotic break. The twin she told me had died because it was easier than explaining the truth. Hello? My wife answered on speaker. I've been visiting Chloe, her twin said calmly. She looks just like you did at that age, so peaceful when she sleeps. My wife dropped the phone. The police traced the call. She was at a motel 6 blocks away. They arrested her within an hour. She'd escaped from the psychiatric facility 3 weeks ago. She'd been living in our garden shed, watching us, waiting until we were asleep to visit her niece. She'd made a copy of our keys somehow. She'd been coming in every night. The only reason Chloe survived was because her aunt was heavily medicated, confused, thinking Chloe was actually my wife as a child. She wasn't trying to hurt her, just wanted to be close to her sister again, or the version of her sister she remembered from childhood. We moved that day, packed what we could, and left for my parents' house 3 states away. Chloe doesn't know the truth. We told her the woman was caught and can't come back. She sleeps better now, but still asks sometimes if we're sure the woman is gone. We say yes. We lie. Because how do you tell a 7-year-old that the woman in her room was her aunt? That mental illness runs in families? That the person who terrorized her shares her blood? We have new cameras now, better locks, a security system. But I still check the footage every morning. Still look for that face that's almost my wife's, but not quite. Because she called my wife yesterday from the facility just breathing on the line, then whispering, Chloe, sweet Chloe, see you soon.